while much of the United States is running around talking about some dude named Columbus today, we don't acknowledge that here at BNC. And on Amplified, we recognize Indigenous Peoples Day, which is a celebration of the Native American people and culture, commemorating their histories, traditions, and progress, despite systemic setbacks. Tonight, we have a step forward to tell you about how more cities, organizations, and schools are finding new ways to honor Indigenous people. And one example is land acknowledgement. A land acknowledgement is a statement that recognizes First Nations territories, whether that's where a business sits or where an event takes place. If it's on land previously owned by Indigenous peoples, acknowledgement is in order. And as you can see by this map from Native Land Digital, that's a whole lot of land. While well-meaning land acknowledgments can unintentionally put out false ideas about North America's history, depriving Indigenous people of land and property. Some would even go as far as calling them solely performative, that they lack the right substance to correct the wrongs of the past. Well, I'm so excited to talk to Malinda Maynor Lowery about this. She's a film producer, author, and Cahoon Family Professor of American History. She is also a member of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina. Malinda, thank you so much for joining us. And I just want to start off by getting your take on land acknowledgments. Are they performative, or is this a good first step?
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Aisha. They can be. I often hear them as not something that really welcomes me to the land as an Indigenous person, but acts like we're not there anymore. And that's not exactly the way to really reckon with the fact that Indigenous people are still very much in our midst. They're part of your organization, they're part of your university. And it's really time that when people write these acknowledgments that they think hard about the fact that Indigenous people are going to be hearing them.
So you work for Emory University, and it was just recently that Emory University actually acknowledged, well, first of all the terror that they had caused, made an acknowledgement about it and did one of these such land acknowledgements with their apology. I'm curious how that landed for you.
Well, it was a very gratifying process in the case of Emory because for years people have been advocating for Emory to recognize not only the Muskogee Creek people whose land we are on in the Atlanta area, but to really involve Native people on campus in new commitments to relationship building, to programs like Indigenous studies, to ways of thinking about and reckoning with not just the past, but the very important work that universities have to do in the future. So it was great for me to be part of the last stages of that process. As people have been working for years, faculty and students in particular, just here recently, with the university's different kind of commitment to telling its history truthfully, people have been more and more excited to figure out how to do this the right way. And so it's been really gratifying for me.
So this is great. I am certainly grateful that people are finally starting to acknowledge, right, and apologize and have some atonement around the stealing and pillaging of Native American lands. But the acknowledgement ain't exactly a reparation. Right. And so I'm curious, do you have a take on, what else can we be doing? Right. What further action do you want to see? Because thank you for your apology and for recognizing that you did something wrong. And now make me whole. How does that happen?
Right. Well, I mean, it's a long process. I think the unique thing about land acknowledgments is that they have to deal with the specifics of that place that the university or institution is part of. And that means reckoning with all of your stakeholders as well. A place like Emory is not just tied to its Atlanta and Oxford campuses. It has the state of Georgia as a stakeholder. It has, many parts of the United States. When people think about that place as a destination, you really have to think hard about who you're responsible to. Native people are not just members of a racial group, they're also members of political communities. And those political communities predate the existence of the United States. So a commitment to repair and to restoration is really almost like a diplomatic governmental exercise. So in a place like a university, you can get your governmental affairs people involved to speak with sovereign nations, tribal governments, who might have a particular stake or claim in the way that institution does business. The things that
Mm.
those tribal nations want are not necessarily going to serve all of their constituents either. So you have to have a variety of conversations. But I think in the case of
Mm-hmm.
universities,
Mm-hmm.
this starts with students. And your guests
Mm.
tonight have talked about the importance of young people. We have to go with the things that they are telling us matter to them.
Yep. Yep.
They're talking about
Yeah.
scholarships. They're talking about the end of systemic racism. They're talking about,
Yep.
not just being heard, but their concerns being acted on.
Well, it's good to see that Emory's actually acting on these concerns and to have you there to help guide the process. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And, we'll continue to stay tuned to all that's happening down there. Malinda Maynor, thank you.